A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in Mumbai to meet one of the industry leaders for metal forming and sheet metal. Before I start today's discussion, since morning I'm trying to look at different quotes, and what glued was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Quote, which says, "A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus." Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Mr. Niranjan Manjrekar, Managing Director, LVD-Multifold India Private Limited. It's good to meet you, Niranjan ji, after a gap of a year or so.
Yep.
And let the audience know, I know Mr. Niranjan for more than a decade now. We meet at multiple forums, a lot of factory visits, and whenever during pandemic I called him a lot to understand what is happening, as you know that everything was closed, to get industry inside what is happening in metal forming and sheet metal industry. He was a, I can say, a source for me to get real insight what is happening in the industry. So thank you for hosting us, sir, here at your beautiful state of the art facility, and I can tell it will be a benchmark for this industry, the way which you are building. To start a conversation, let us know, our audience know about LVD Multifold, its journey, and a little bit about the history.
For sure. First of all, it's always good to see you because I think we do a lot of engagement in terms of the market reach, but the in-depth analysis, the keen interest to know, as in, I will not call it an outsider now, you're a more of a like an insider now, and really connecting the dots, and importantly, creating the forum for the buyers and the sellers, right? Because there are products, there are technology, but what was lacking or what is lacking is the interface with the genuine buyers. So this is somewhere I think the people are looking forward when they know, particularly the Meshmix media or your various activity lineup in that. So thank you both being over here. Yeah, I think it's a very important milestone for us, for LVD Multifold. And for sure it was not overnight. So there has got to be a lot of individual contribution, a serious intent, and the in-depth understanding of the India as a market on the global forum. Nothing to hold back, like means India definitely, we always felt like means this decade is going to be ours. And this is not just an emotion, but we are talking about the various indicators, the platform, the initiatives. I think after a long time, we have a very correlative environment where we have all the ingredients. See, success is a recipe, right? And usually when we call, means my theory is like apna jo masala peti rehta hai. So there is the jeera, rye, salt, turmeric, the mirch, which add up. And a good recipe is like how you blend all those ingredients, right? And this is where we stand. I think India is ready with all those necessary spices and elements to cook really the recipe which we can serve for the global market. And if you see the journey of particularly to the segment where we represent as in metal forming, there is an enormous growth. I would say rather the exponential growth. And when I say so, there are some measurable parameters. The tier 1 supplier or the tier 2 supplier are becoming giant, right? If we talk about many customers or the such vendors, subcontracting firms are reaching to the turnover of 1000 crore, 1200 crore, and this was unimaginable or something which cannot be believed in the past, right? Because this is something the OEMs were also struggling to have such milestone as in financial figures, but this is what we see. So the rotate OEMs, what we call as a technological innovation company who is coming into India, obviously outsourcing a lot of metal forming to the subcontracting firm. And then there is equal hunger, appetite, and decision making happening in this industry segment pertaining to the tier 1, tier 2 suppliers who are investing into that, right? LVD, I think very familiar name, in Indian market. We had been every time been positioned as a niche technological solution provider. LVD, I think there is not much of introduction required, but it's a family-owned company. Now we have the third generation stepping into the family business. And the family is not restricted only to the founders or the co-founders, but this is also the family of the people. What's like me, I am the part of that family as well. As an LVD, we talk about the people behind the technology. There is a lot of importance we give to the people on the different levels who contribute to the company's growth. And in India, we do have a very, I think, numerous success stories. May it be private sector, may it be the public sector. We always had been preferred partner when it comes to the metal forming. We have grown gradually, more than a decades of journey in India on the various stages, which has been amplified to the position now where we are sitting in this location, which is LVD-Multifold manufacturing setup, right? And we are now very proud to position ourselves as the only one who is producing panel bender in India, right? And the biggest achievement for us is like, which I feel proud as an Indian, is like this panel bender is not only manufactured for the Indian market, but we are catering to the global market. So the machines which are produced over here are for the global market, right? So this is a global competence center for us when the panel bender as a product is coming. There is definitely another product which we are trying to implement, where the first machine coming out of this plant will be showcased in Mumbai, which is a laser, where we are trying to pitch in with a nice composition, fit into this ecosystem of manufacturing, which we are looking into when it comes to the cutting as an application, right? We have grown right from a very humble sales and service subsidiary, right? Very customer-centric approach. That's always had been our forte. All our individuals had been known as an very proud representation of our company. That's how we are associated. And now to a people of more than 100 individuals working for LVD-Multifold in India.
In India.
Right? Which consists of the production team, the quality, supply chain, procurement, engineering team, sales, service, as well as the software.
Correct.
Right? So we are growing as a family. And I think this is a very strategic decision for us. It took a lot of efforts for us to be prepared. And Multifold has been always a complementing product into our basket for us when we are really trying to amplify our efforts into these global manufacturing scenarios pertaining to the industry specific metal forming as an application. And I think journey speaks. It shows our strong intent. It shows our commitment to the Indian market, that we are going to be here to scale up.
So for me, my takeaway is make in India, made for the world. Since it's a product not only for Indians, it will be exported.
Correct.
So it will act like one of the major destination for the brand. So thanks Niranjan for letting us know. From now, let's focus. I want you to let us know about the range of product and solution which right now you have under your basket, like different zones. So can we talk about different verticals of you, which falls under LVD multifold right now?
So we are really working with a theme called shaping the flow, right? So we are not talking individually on the product, but these are the products which contributes and are important element when we are really forming that solution for this market. Yeah, it's always easy to talk on the solution. Everybody talk on the solution, but what's very critical and important is end-to-end integration of it, right? And you having the complete hold of it. See, there has to be something proprietary, right? Means where you are hold, where you are invested in that know-how, and which has evolved now as one of the very important criteria for you to pitch in, which you own, right? And this is where the LVD has been very strong enough when we talk about the many patents into the technology, the many first time approach towards any technology, may it be software, may it be the integration, automation, or the product novelties. But classification of the product, we have right from the shearing machine, like an initial component which drives the cut to length parts, which can be fitted to the punching. So we have the whole family of the punching press, right? And we are, I would say, we are the only one having both the vertical of the punch press in turret form and as well as in single station.
Okay.
So these are the elements when we talk to the customer. We are not biased with whatever we have, and we don't try to push that, but we try to evaluate the needs, the explicit needs of the customer, so that we can really justify what suits to them and which can really justify to that investment what they do. So the turret and the single station from the punch press, this is something which we hold. Then we have the laser cutting with a very basic 3 meter by 1.5 meter up to the long range machines, 12 meters and beyond, uh, with the beveling compatibility. Because the moment you talk about the higher thickness, getting into the fabrication, you need to have the weld preparation and all those things with the very precision. So we work with the utmost industry standard specification which you can get into the market with that consistency and repeatability when it comes to the laser cutting. Then we have the whole universe of the bending machine, right from the smallest like 24 ton, and then we have machines up to 3000 ton with a length of 12 meter or even 15 meter. And bending is somewhere, I think LVD is always looked as an encyclopedia. So the moment you want to learn something in the bending, and then you know means there is a LVD, you have all the possibilities to the last possibility which it can be done on the bending machine. So that's, and it is strongly backed up with our own software, right? And why I'm talking about the software can be very generic nowadays for any equipment, any devices, but it should be something which really work to assist you in providing the flow, the providing the proper information for the machine to work autonomously, less of human interventions, right? A kind of a law automation which it can be graduated around, means as an ecosystem, or the modularity we talk about. And then we have the panel vendor now. And the panel vendor is something I see will be the game changer in Indian market, right? Not only because this is something new, but see, means once you talk about the product, there is an equally important reciprocating action which is required is the education about that and the know-how about that with the buyer.
Okay. Yes.
So they should be able to mature enough to understand where the panel bender can pitch in, what are the differences, or what are the elements where they should consider bending or where they should consider the panel bender, right? It could be industry specific, it could be depending upon the batch production ratio, however they want the thickness, and then obviously with the strong evolution of the design which we see thanks to the evolving CAD compatibility as a software, designing is very easy. But now conceptualizing means what we always say, converting from art to part, right? So this is where the equipment comes in with the allied products like software. And we are a proud owner to say like everything is in-house when we talk about such solution. So shearing, punch press, laser cutting, bending machine, panel bender, and then obviously the enterprise level, or rather the interface level, we have the complete range of automation with the customization possibility, and then our whole own software suite, right? So this is where we stand.
Complete solution what you have,
Yeah.
rather than a product you offer solution. So Niranjan, world is looking at India very seriously now. Like global slowdown is happening, lot of tension here and there. So Indian market is very important, and India is growing. And India's statement also, you should lot of tier 1, tier 2 suppliers, they have grown, as your company name is Multifold, they have grown multifold. So what sort of industry LVD Multifold, because now it's a company which has everything in the basket. So see, and I know you are traveling the last 6 months. Whenever I called you, you are either moving different part of the country, meeting clients. So which sort of industry which you see is picking up, and what sort of product and solution people are interested in discussing with you? Because like you said, from art to part, from discussion to then finally having that technology or a solution. So what sort of industries you see are growing up or picking up where people need quality good machines, and how do you see market of those industry growing, so that it's good for us to know as a company?
Yeah. So I think very essentially we should understand the emotions and then the present environment. I think it's always easy to get influenced by the negative factors, right? But there are industry leaders who always try to see opportunity in crisis, right? And this is the key of any business, right? Where this situation will remain in future with these uncertainties because of the growing global equation in the trade, certain conservative approach in most of the countries because of the factors of employment and um, the industrial growth in that particular sectors, because everybody would like to run a country with the sufficient job opportunities, employment for their country, right? Yes. Nobody is happy completely offloading to somebody else and then you run out of the job opportunities to really impart or to deploy to their own nations. I think this is, I would not call as in completely a new restructuring. This has been happening from so many decades. We have seen the depression in 2008 and then 2014, 12, 13, there was little bit again. COVID was in another changeover. So this correction always happens. There are two factors. One is technological disruption, right? When we talk about the technological disruption, we see about the transition of automotive industry from the IC to EV, right?
Yes.
So this is happening. We see quite of advancement and modernization in many sectors like railways, like medical, like there are a lot of things which is happening. We see aerospace is reaching to every corner of not only of India, but connectivity has widened.
Yes.
Right? We see the cities really getting bigger and bigger. And also there are new cities which are coming into the picture, right? And if we look at India as a market, the whole focus has been having a scattered growth, a uniform spread out of the industrial base or the economic corridors. And the major turnaround was the connectivity, the roads, the connectivity by means of the airbase, right, the railways. So we always we see these industrial indicators to decide ourselves that what are the segments which are doing good. We being present directly in India in the public sector as well as the private sector. We have the machines working in the aerospace, the railways, right, ordnance factory, right, means for the defense. And then we have the many public-private partnership for such products, and as well as we have all those the other contributing industry for the yellow goods, then the construction and all of the things. Now, if I try to put it in a nutshell, how we see India as a market evolving, there is a strong commitment from the government which is coming again for the aerospace, for the defense sectors. There is a big boost. We are working with lot of partners who are really looking out for those solutions, and with our global know-how, with the materials, the treatment towards this material, and to help them as an handholding to form a really a solution where they can venture out into this segment. So this is where we are already working on modernization of the railways, which is something which we have seen for the car body shell or the coaches and all, where we have already established very strongly. Yellow goods, like means since we are talking about the increasing road connectivity across the length and width of the country, we have a strong presence as well as into the construction equipment, mining equipment, right? So this is somewhere we are. Since we are talking about the road connectivity and all, as we spoke about the widened city base, not only the existing city, but the new cities coming up and where the new urbanization is happening. And in nutshell, when we talk about the urbanization, you talk about the residential, commercial and all those constructions leading a way for the growth of PEB, elevator industry, furniture industry, kitchens, elevator, means all those ancillaries, all these are metal forming. So you look anywhere, the metal forming is something which is evolving very rapidly. Furniture, for instance, itself, if you talk about the biggest manufacturer of the furnitures in India, they are catering only to 17-18% of this whole need of the market. There is vast market handled by the unorganized sector. And these are strictly individual or the family owned companies, but they are investing in technology. There are many panel vendors which are being purchased by such players to equip them to be a strong regional player. So regionalization, right? This is happening, right? Not limited to the existing industrial corridor, but there are new industrial corridor. Surprisingly, Odisha is coming up, UP is coming up very strongly. Then Bihar, we see a very prominent part, right?
That inspired 30 families to start cruising together in 1952 in the heart of Flanders in Belgium.
See, it's traditionally, when we say we talk about Maharashtra, we talk about Tamil Nadu, we talk about Karnataka, right? So these are the major industrial corridor, very strongly based for all these OEMs and the bigger companies, MNCs, as in first preferences. But now we see Gujarat, not only new, but they had been very strong from the last decade. We talk about Odisha, very evolving for the metal forming because you already have the steels, centers and processing. And now what was missing out? The end product, right? Which is the conversion of those or the value addition into that. That's been seen now, right? We see UP prominently laying the foundation for all those industrial corridors to come up and set up something. Modern coach factory is already one part of it. Ancillaries is there. Punjab already having the industrial corridor for the railways, agri equipment, rather major exporter for the agri equipment as well, in line with the other states, right? So all those states are coming up very strongly. And the key when we talk about all these industry segment, not restricting to any specific industrial application or segment, they are investing in future fit technology. I'm not talking of any brand, I'm not talking of any product, but what people are very conscious is to see, like, means the investment they do has to be future fit. And when we say future fit, it is self-explanatory. We are going to experience a major turnaround in the Indian manufacturing sector. And the player who are going to encash on this opportunity are the people who are going to invest in technology and not as in just equipment, right? So the company they are going to be associated, I would rather say the supplier, the companies like us, who is guiding them on the right equipment with the utmost know-how and that confidence, are the technological partner for them for their growth journey, right? This is very crucial.
So before we move on, and one thing I like about the Niranjan is walk the talk. I will quickly tell you a short story. Not a story, it's a phone call between me and him. I pitched him an idea that Meshmix Media will be doing a pan India roadshow on cars, where we will be trying to cover all the major industrial hubs in India. It's a 60 days project where I, with the camera crew, will be traveling the major industrial hubs entire India. And I was pitched him and I said, "Narendra, how do you see the idea?" He said, "Don't talk to 100 people. If you feel you can do it, just go ahead. I like the idea." So like he said, challenges and opportunity, and we say Rome was not built in a day. Uh, so let's talk about challenges and opportunities, because in the conversation you spoke. So what was the some I know challenges, opportunity we do. You are a management person. I have also did a little bit of study. So we in SWOT it's a typically we fit in our opportunity and all. But still, I wanted to understand what were the some of the challenges you had in this facility, and what sort of opportunity you see.
Yeah. I think in bits and pieces, we already spoke of so many opportunities which we see nowadays. Say, I feel challenge is something like stimulant which you require, right? Challenge is need, and I think you, me, all are existing because there are some challenges, there are some unfinished job to be done, right? So I think the challenges would remain, would refine stage wise, pushing to testing our strength and the capability. And you, just a while before, you spoke about the change in order in global environment, the different political scenarios. So the challenges which we see when I talk India as a market is to be self-reliant, to be a manufacturing hub, to be prepared and equipped to cater in this opportunity, right? It's a healthy situation. What is required? A very sensible and calculated approach to it, right? I think we need to understand, like, we have to see this as a long-term opportunity and not to tap it as an overnight decision. And when I say so, it's very essentially right from the ecosystem any industry is trying to build up. May it be buying machine, may it be setting up your manufacturing plant, may it be designing your whole manufacturing processes. You have to always look for whether you're fit for the future, whether it will cater gradually when you move years, right? Whether it is adaptable to the change in business scenarios,
Correct.
right? And whether it is going to contribute to your ideology of growth. It's easy to talk about growth, but growth is not always as a turnover, but growth is fundamentally your know-how, your base, business base, and also like adapting yourself to the change in technology, change in economical situation, change in demands, right? And the change in the production method which you are going to adapt. Agile, flexibility in technical term, what we say. This is a time where you are really being tested now.
Correct.
Right? And the important part is scaling up. When time comes, you have the base where you can scale up. Correct. Most of the people stuck up there, they get stagnated because they don't know how to scale up. It may be because of the lack of processing capability, the lack of the production base, right? And when we talk about, we are talking about all man, machine, and then the plant, right? The plant, the people, the production facility, all those things. So there where the right decision has to be made, right? And hence means since we are talking very precisely, I'm representing the LVD, we try to convey this message rather than just jumping into what product be suitable to them and rather talking on the request for quotation, how the product they are assuming. We try to get more information from the people. What actually are they aspiring for? We are not here to just give you what you demand. Yeah, that's our job. But we also want you to bring on table all the experience what we have and to collaborate with the industry to decide what best fit for them, right? And this is where I think we would like to play very differently, right? Not limiting ourselves as just as a supplier, but also helping them in making a right approach towards their investment. The selling is just a part of it, but what we want is like to partner them to keep their investment safe, to help them to create value of this investment, right? And this comes with a very hard work and probably initial frictions, because most of the people may not like to be overruled. Like, I have decided why you want to change of, bring the change in perspective, like how I should see my investment to be. But I see the initial friction help us to come on the term, like means where, what we are aiming for, why we want the best of technology to be placed, not restricting, being biased enough, like means you need to think of my kind of investment or the equipment what we have. But sometimes we approach with a different environment, like means, okay, we may not have that technology, but this may be best suitable to you. This is very frequently happening in aerospace now, because with the people know-how, the people always are limited to apply a particular technology to it. But there is a whole world where the people are doing it in a different way, right? That exposure, what we have in global platform, we are sharing with the people. So sometimes we are not limiting with our own product, but helping the people to understand what are the means and other ways to do it.
Khelo Bharat is a campaign which is being run by the government. I request everybody to go out there, exercise. I do meditation. It's between mind and body. So hardware is the body and software is the mind. This is I was thinking when we were talking. What
Yep.
should I ask? Because it's like a masterclass for me, and I wanted to, for me, a lot of takeaways. So let's talk about software, Niranjan. You have beautiful stellar machines, the rugged machine. It has built up well. How important in software? Like you said, you have in-house software. What sort of offerings you have in software with the machines or extra solutions? Uh, what do you offer to your buyers?
See, I think the software has a very defined benefit where it plays a very important place in the whole ecosystem of the solution what we provide. What is prominently important when we talk about the software is that it captures all the data for you to decide whether you are really being on that optimized environment of manufacturing, utilization of the machines, help you to adapt to the predictive dashboard in various segments. It could be predictive dashboard for your machine maintenance and overhauling. It could be predictive dashboard for your throughput, right? And all that data has to be in line, homogeneous to your machine and technology, right? I think as an investor, the important is like once you invest in the technology is to really map out what is the utilization of the machine. The more it is human based interaction or the interface or the dependency on that, individually every people has a different map out. There could be also an effort to keep certain safety bandwidth. The compounding effect of safety bandwidths is something like you lose the substantial part of your throughput because you're understating keeping all those margins in contact. The people invest in a hard-earned money. That's a very important decision for them, and it is very evident and essential for the software to step in over here to give a realistic figure where the machine can be utilized to the best of time. Very often we see like the people go for another equipment where the existing machine is already underutilized. They don't have proper mapping of it, right? So this software always give you that hard data, measurable data, where you can really correlate why, if in case if you're not really utilizing that machine to the best of possibility. That's one. Preparation. Preparation is something where the lot of time comes in, right? And you keep your machines idle. So pre-hand preparation is something where the software pitch in, like means with a real production data, which can be thrown directly to the machine to produce the part, right? Then the validation process. Validation process is like the moment the parts are made on the machine, and the software can help to validate the quality of the part with immediate interface. So the moment you have certain parts which going bad for various reasons can be again brought into the manufacturing environment to keep the continuity, right? And ultimately then to track where your parts are lying into, because ultimately those may be a child part, kit part, which is going to contribute into the part of the whole assembly, which is going to be dispatched throughput as a billable item. So this is where the whole journey of the software, right from the preparation to the billing, right? and then hand in hand the automation for the material handling. So this is where we take.
We are in Maharashtra, close to Ankhi, Mumbai, and I always heard, I travel a lot because I'm into sales. So one word when I travel, meter down ahe ka, meter chalel ka. So let's talk about service, Niranjan, because that is something which is one of the important thing where a client meter has to be down,
Yeah.
machine has to be up and running.
Correct.
So, uh, what sort of service team is there? What sort of the machine should not go down? What sort of preventive measures you ask your client to do? Or what sort of service measure as a company you offer to your solution? Because, like you say, uptime of the machine is very important.
Yeah. See, service is a backbone of any product, right? Because the moment you sell with your face value, goodwill, everything, but then the journey is the experience, right? And the experience is something which will pull you back to have the another reinvestment or continuing that journey. We have been very conscious, not with only approach, but with our system also, which is customer centric. Okay, everybody talk about the customer centric approach, customer friendly approach, but then it has to be like how, right? And that how is addressed like means we work with our system not to have a break and fix approach, but to have a very predictive dashboard for like this. And this is something which is not a magic. It has its own flow of information which we have derived to see through, like whenever the person goes, he has the certain checklist. It's just like you go for the CBC test, right? You have your cholesterol level, lipid profile, everything. And then हमें लगता है कि boss, you're on this borderline, not in threat, but be conscious. Let's define your lifestyle and other things and adapt to it. See, it's same of the machine. The machine becomes the complete assembly is made up of each parts. Every part has a periodic frequency based attention needed. And once the machine is thrown in production, we see like means obviously our partners are very busy running it because there is a, but we guide them and sometimes be stubborn also that you have to release this machine for the production. So there are systems which captured all this data, as I said, to change from break and fix approach to the predictive approach. This helps customer to plan the spare parts required, right? To have that breakdown time required to release the machine for the predictive dashboard, rather than getting into a situation where the machine is down, you went into troubleshooting, there is a lead time for the spare parts to arrive and all. Then we have a very defined approach for the inventory of the space. Since we are sitting in this facility, we have a quite of a big store warehouse. Based on the install base, there is algorithm where we work on like what kind of the spares which we need to keep in internally, in-house in India, as well as the provision with our various factories, right? For the easy transfer or the immediate transfer of those particular parts. So that's this we are talking about the systems, but the biggest backbone of the whole system when we are talking are your people, right? It's just like you're approaching to a doctor. And I think the general tendency is like the moment you go, you see like was that is a 20 years practicing doctor, right? वो देखते ही पता चल जाता है कि मतलब आपको क्या है. And I'm proudly, I can share this, like means we have the team with an average working association with LVD of all these field technician almost like 10 years.
Oh,
Right? 10 years and beyond.
correct.
So why this is important? Because they are so well aware of the whole machines, not only with the new generation of the machines, but also the earlier generation of the machines, because those are also running into the market. So we are seen as one of the very reliable partner to keep your investment safe, is not only to run the machine, but also to support the machine which has been probably installed in a decade old or a 1 point means 15 years, 17 years, 20 years machines which are there, even though technology has been absolute. So that's how customers see us, like means we are there, right, to work it out. So this is something where we say like how we are customer centric.
Thank you, Niranjan. Last night I watched 300. So, discussion between Leonardo and Xerxes, which I will not speak. We will continue this, my story when we are at Niranjan's booth in IMTEX 2026. We have my colleague our managing director, founder, publisher, Miss Preeti Mishra. She will lead the interview and she has a couple of questions for IMTEX. For that, we have come all the way from Bangalore. Ladies and gentlemen, Preeti.
First of all, thank you for having us at this beautiful facility. It's at Nasik Highway in Maharashtra. I have few couple of questions to ask to you. First, related to energy efficiency and sustainable manufacturing.
Yes.
How does LVD Multifold focus on energy efficiency?
Yeah, right. I think this is something where I see the background display is already talking about that LVD enables a green future. See, green is much easy to talk nowadays because this is something which elevates your product and the sentiments where everybody is looking at. But being greener has to be in true science contributing to all the element. It should not be also complicated because greener not necessarily has to be complicated and costly. So we see, as you rightly said, energy is one of the important pillar, right? When we talk about the green, we talk about not only the electrical consumption about it, we talk about the reusability, we talk about the repairability, right? Less of disposal, right? So there is nothing which goes out and where you just eliminate that from this market and dispose somewhere in that particular scene. It has to be reuse, repair. So that's something, a ecosystem which contributes to the whole when green as a concept we talk about. Energy, I think this is not new. Everybody is focusing on to be energy efficient. There are ways and means with the people which we do. Nowadays, I think all leading manufacturer is sensitive and focused on being energy efficient because otherwise in certain market you cannot sell. There are incentives being provided in certain markets for falling into that category with a defined value. Right? For an example, like in Korea, they give the incentive. In Japan, they give the incentive. I think slowly, gradually, it is coming into the India also now, right? For the carbon credit, reducing the carbon footprint. So energy efficiency, we do have all our platform of the product which are energy efficient, right? So this is mandatory. So there is no option to it. The second is like we spoke in length about the service approach, and this customer centricity helps us to really provide all the benefits to our customer on the reusability and the repairability to the maximum extent. We are not still there to be 100% on the repairability because there are a lot of OEM parts which gets in, and we have to partner and collaborate with those OEMs also to see and find a solution like how we can get into those sectors as well for the bought-out items. But that's our commitment where we are heading for. So yeah, means it's all about the energy efficiency and the maximum efforts going into see-through, like means you have a less disposal or the absoluting certain parts. So reusability, repairability, and then the being energy efficient.
The next question will be, in the next 5 years, how do you see the Indian manufacturing industry and LVD Multifold of focusing on the market evolving, you can say, in next 5 years?
I think we already started looking at the milestone which we derived as some figures, keeping in mind how our journey should be, how our investment pattern should be for scaling up this plant for manufacturing. And I cannot disclose the above, but happily can tell you, like we already see, like means those milestones are realistically achievable, and rather we are increasing our expectation now, redefining those figures now, right? See, as we spoke, I think we just had a very brief discussion about how the Indian manufacturing sectors is evolving, how we are scaling up, not only limiting to the huge domestic demand, but also as a big chunk of export business coming in. I think when we talk about these, it should be backed up with some realistic data as well. So we see many free trade agreement on the trade equations which is happening with all these leading economic countries or the countries where we are already being associated with. So those trade deficits are being breached down now. Rather, we really look like, I think Dinesh travel a lot in Europe. The German chancellor was there by the time we talked, and he already made one step, like means there will be no transit visa required. See, I think nobody is going to bring it on the platter without any use. You see them as a very collaborative partner for the trade equation. There are means and ways where you leverage certain things. We are in that position, I think, where people see us very seriously as a very reliable partner when it comes to the manufacturing, as in value addition, as in know-how. There are many countries, the MNCs or the companies who have set up their global competence center in India, their global design centers in India, right? I think we should not means we know everybody. We have seen like so many things are happening. So it's not only it's not about being cheap or very affordable in automation, but this is about the reliability. This is about the ecosystem being available, the know-how being available, the skill, manpower has been available, and this is not overnight. The government also has been assisting scaling up the skill, mapping up the skill under the Skill India, and I think your firm is already associated with some of the initiatives under the skill upbringing, right? So all the favorable ingredients, as I said, with this recipe are available. And talking about this coming growth factor, I think the with our panel vendor, we are just being on the doorstep. Means we see enormous growth. Already we started exporting into the various other overseas country, may it be Europe, may it be in Middle East, may it be the Pacific or the US, right? But eventually, what I see is like a large industrial base are adapting in this technology, right? And this product is just being introduced into the market, right? The affordable automation with the machines which are produced in India, right, as we speak, there is huge numbers. I can definitely correlate it with the kind of the pool of opportunities and the discussions, number of discussions which we are happening. There is tremendous that positive vibrations, awareness, know-how, and the people are ready to invest. Yeah.
Great. The next question will be related to IMTEX forming. You LVD is participating over there. So what type of products you're planning to showcase in the event?
So we are rather exhibiting 4 verticals over there, means panel bender with the complete automation, right? So this is something which will be there in IMTEX. Then easy form bending machine. So this is a flagship model where it is one of the, I think, the best technology which you can have for the bending solution. And then we have a machine LaserTWO. It's with the various possibility of modularity, customization, which can be possible with kind of the footprint. And so these are the 3 machines: panel bender, bending machine, and then the laser cutting machine, whichever it is. And a part of the complete vertical of the software suite, which we are going to exhibit. But more importantly, I think the machine would be demonstrated, means there, because since it's a machine tool exhibition, but we will have the people behind the technology available at our booth, which can reach out, or the people can reach out to really see, like, means how the return of investment can be planned, how the right investment can change the situation, what are the right technology for that, the aspiration of the growth which they are defining for, right? So there where we are making a difference this time. Usually the booth is populated by the sales and the service, but this time we have the people from design, R&D, the technical front available on the booth, who can be available to have a very, I think, meaningful interaction. So I will reach out through you, like, means just drop in to know about this industry, to know about the people behind this technology, and to have a wider discussion, not limited to the products.
That's so yeah.
Yeah.
So that will be your final message for the visitors will be
Yes.
visiting to your booth.
Yes.
Anything extra you want to say? So you can just
No, I think means, yeah, means it's quite a major investment for us to be there. It's quite an effort for the people put in, because the huge alignment, pre-show and then the post-show. What I would like to see is takeaway is like the people should go with a complete different vision, like where are we now, with, as Dinesh said, the change in the global situation, like understand, because I think the more we get fall prey with the disturbances, see, means the chaos may attract to be very conscious, but huge potential, and this is the right time to invest. If you want to be in that journey of growth, this is the time to invest. But invest in future fit technology, as I always say, that is going to pay off. And let's have a discussion on that. Rather, I would not be happy to talking about what is my machine specification about, because this is something very generic you can have on the website, every minute. Let's have something what this machine can do, what are the various things happening in this industry segment. So this kind of discussions we are really looking forward, and hence I'm investing, or we are investing in the people to be on board, on the booth, available to talk with the people. So come and visit us and have a meaningful talk with the coffee, obviously.
We also request all our viewers, all our readers, please visit the booth for LVD Multifold at IMTEX Forming coming month. This month itself, actually, it is happening within few days. And I'll hand over Dinesh Mishra to Malila.
Thanks, Niranjan. Thanks for the time. I know it's a very busy day for you. And if you want to listen what Xerxes spoke up to Leonardo, in IMTEX, do visit LVD Multifold booth at hall number 5, stall number B108. We'll catch up for a coffee and we will again come up with a lot of stories, and don't miss 300 at LVD booth. Thank you, Niranjan. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.